What is up, Light Fam? Welcome to another video. My name is David. Hey, is your divine masculine going through what's known as the dark night of the soul? If so, ever wonder what the divine masculine perspective is during the dark night of the soul? Well, let's talk about it. If you are new to the channel and this type of content resonates with you, please smash that notification bell so you don't miss the twice weekly spiritual tutorials that I post. Also, if you need a good spot for all of your twin flame resources to help guide you through the twin flame journey, click the subscribe button. And I will also link the twin flame playlist at the end of this video. It's under the Love Series playlist where you can check out all the twin flame videos. We got some divine masculine perspectives. We've got karmic relationships. We've got the twin flame is married. What do I do now? We got twin flame reunion signs, part 1 and part 2. Are you my twin flame? So there's quite a bit there to cover everything on the twin flame spectrum. Also, real quick, remember to have a look around in the description box below. We've got a guided 30-minute meditation on abundance. You can also book a one-on-one coaching session or order a personalized video addressing your specific twin flame needs or your spirituality stumbling blocks, which always coincide. But let's get right into the video. So typically on that initial twin flame separation, the breakup, where the divine masculine becomes the divine masculine runner, the divine masculine perspective at that time is one of unawareness. Remember, the divine masculine initially represents that darker, denser energy of that yin-yang relationship that I've talked about in previous videos. What will typically happen is your divine masculine will spark a dark night of the soul in you, the divine feminine. So you, the divine feminine, you represent the more awake, aware, lighter aspect of that yin-yang relationship, and you have to have had a spiritual awakening to have a dark night of the soul. So you, as the divine feminine, being more awake, your divine masculine will come in and trigger a dark night of the soul in you. And what is the divine masculine's perspective at that time? Typically not much. Nothing out of the ordinary. Why? Because they're unaware, they're unawakened, they don't realize what they have done. They just go on about their life, and they've left you in this dark night of the soul, but they're unaware. Initially, and I'm going to tell you why I keep using this word initially in a second here, but just as a side note, as I said in my previous video, which you can watch right here, Divine Masculine Perspective, is my divine masculine thinking about me? I mentioned that divine feminine and divine masculine energy is just that. It's just energy. It has nothing to do with gender. Now, as the twin flame roller coaster rolls on, as most twin flame relationships tend to do, there are going to be several twin flame reunions and twin flame separations along the way. And now as this happens, and this is why I was using the word initially, previously with the divine masculine perspective, now the divine masculine will have a spiritual awakening. And what does the spiritual awakening trigger? The dark night of the soul. Oh. So here's the thing about the divine masculine perspective. Since the divine masculine is the less awake twin flame here, it's that darker, denser, unaware energy, the concept of spirituality is really going to be a foreign thing for your divine masculine. Meaning, if they didn't have that spiritual foundation in the first place, now they're really going to be confused. Not just about the twin flame connection itself, but their life in general. Where is their life headed is what they begin to ask themselves. The twin flame connection has now sparked a life purpose analysis, if you will, where they're now going through a little bit of an ego identity crisis. Because the dark night of the soul is also what's known as ego death. And the ego is what's in charge of your perceived identity. So now they're going through an ego identity crisis, which will eventually give birth to a spiritual identity rebirth. But getting to that point is going to be hell for them. The main purpose of the twin flame connection is spiritual awakening. The longevity of the twin flame relationship comes secondary in the eyes of the universe. So, in regards to the dark night of the soul and ego death, your ego has created its own perception of what it believes your identity to be. And it will take your 3D aspects, because that's where the ego resides, in the 3D, and it will take those 3D aspects and construct its perception of your identity. So it's going to take your job as part of your identity, your religion, your political affiliations, your likes, your dislikes, your future self also gets woven into the ego's perception of your identity. Now, all of these things and many more get called into question during the dark night of the soul. And your divine masculine's dark night of the soul is no different. That's why the divine masculine perspective of the dark night of the soul is very much one of an identity crisis, which they can't seem to quite figure out just yet. The divine masculine may now be trying to find themselves, which there's no such a thing as finding yourself. It's really just remembering or aligning with your true, eternal, all-powerful divine self. But I digress. But anyway, your divine masculine is now questioning the direction of their life. They know that they need to make a big change in one way or the other. And in their mind, at least in that moment, that may or may not include you. They don't know yet. They just know that they've got to change the direction of their life. And it's at this point that the universe may come in and cause them to lose a job that was not serving them and is meant to get them on their passion so they can become their greatest version, or some type of a tower moment that causes them to change the direction of their life to more of what they're meant to be. Or maybe that tower moment was meant to evolve that divine masculine into a stronger man or stronger woman that no longer needs to hold on to facades that were created or that they created to hide certain insecurities or hide repressed shadow aspects of themselves. So now the dark night of the soul gets them down the road to where they can evolve into that strong man or strong woman that their higher self wants them to evolve into. So the divine masculine's perspective during the dark night of the soul is one of a spiritual rite of passage, where they know that this is something that they've got to get through alone on their own so that they can get a deeper understanding of their own soul identity. And even their higher self is telling them that this is a solo journey. You've got to do this alone and prove to yourself that you can survive that trial by fire, so to speak. And they just innately know that leaning on you, their divine feminine, is not going to be the same as far as proving how strong they actually are. So they have this sense of, I've got to prove this to myself to find my true identity and to know what I'm made of. And this actually reminds me of a really good saying that I read one time, which says, you can't break someone that has found strength in their own destruction. So if you've ever gone through the dark night of the soul, or you've ever had to reinvent yourself from scratch after you've lost everything, you get this inner sense of indestructibility. You're unbreakable, and you have found strength in your own destruction. So if your divine masculine is going through the dark night of the soul, what is the best thing that you as the divine feminine can do? Absolutely nothing. You know, especially if your divine masculine has asked for some space. You know, if their higher self is telling them that this is something that they need to do on their own, and they may not be woke enough quite yet to know that it's coming from their higher self, they just innately know that they have to do this on their own, then you doing something, trying to help, is going to energetically repel your divine masculine. Now, I know that that's not easy to hear because you love your divine masculine, and of course we want to help the people that we love. But you got to understand that your doing is physical. Physical is 3D. Your divine masculine is not going through something 3D. They're going through a soul evolution. This is a soul thing. If you're trying to do something in the 3D, you're going to energetically repel them. So, you know, doing something in the 3D, like helping them with their homework or helping them with their taxes or helping them with dinner. These are really bad examples, sorry. But, you know, it's not the same as helping them in the 3D. They're not having a 3D situation where they would need 3D help. So the best thing to do as a divine feminine is not to try to help them in the 3D. Your divine masculine will come out of the dark night of the soul when he or she finds strength in that new identity that is trying to be birthed through spiritual chaos. That process of the dark night of the soul, that ego death that I mentioned earlier, is where that ego is going to give way, is going to let go of that old identity that it's been holding on to so desperately, and it's going to give way to the new identity that spirit, that source, that higher self is trying to birth. And your divine masculine is going to have a new perception of their self, of their future. They're going to have a deeper understanding of their own spiritual fortitude because they realize that they can't be broken. And it's this deep understanding that they can't be broken that allows them to drop some of those insecurities and heal some of those repressed shadows that may have been causing them to treat you bad or not so great in the past. So this is another way of saying that after your divine masculine goes through the dark night of the soul and comes out a better version of themselves, if the twin flame reunion does indeed happen, they should treat you better because they're no longer questioning their own self-worth, which would in turn cause them to act out those insecurities. So the twin flame reunion is always smoother after the dark night of the soul. Now, question of the day. Is your divine masculine going through the dark night of the soul? Leave those comments below. I would love to hear how your twin flame journeys are going. If you like the video, then please like the video. If you want to see more twin flame videos, please click the subscribe button. Also, I'm going to link the Love Series playlist at the end of this video. That's where you'll find all of the Twin Flame videos. Also, go ahead and add me over on Instagram, _Lightways. I do answer a lot of questions over there as well. Don't forget to check out the links below. We've got the free 30-minute guided meditation on abundance. Again, if you're a Gmail user, that meditation will most likely be under the promotions tab. You can also click the link to book a one-on-one coaching session to address any of your twin flame questions, heartache, journey, whatever's going on. We can help you with that. Also, any spiritual stumbling blocks in general that you may have. What else we got? Oh, smash that notification bell so you don't miss the twice weekly spiritual tutorials. And I think that is it. I'm out of here, guys. You know the deal. Light, love, and abundance to all that are watching and to all you love. Peace, guys.